Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Tonight's topic is the tool in your grazer's toolbox. One of the most powerful tools you have is rest and recovery.
Let's talk about the deer.
And Jan's all enamored about the deer. We got a deer there looking at us. It is evening. All the deer are starting to come out in the meadows, and I don't know why there would be deer. Do you, honey? Look at what's in front of us here.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a salad bar, all right.
So if you look down here in the canopy though, folks, we still got some ground litter down there. And when I open this up, there's just aphids, all kinds of life coming up. I mean, it's just...
Look how dense the spacing is.
Folks, we're in a really hot period. 90s, they're saying 99 to 100 degrees on Friday. I've never seen weather this hot this early in June. But look at the forage out here. It's really does the heart good to see this kind of forage in front of our cow herd when we haven't had rain for
10 days.
That's been over that. It's like this is my birthday was on Monday, the 14th. It's been 14, 15 days.
But we can't complain.
No, we're not complaining. I'm just telling you, that's how
there's others around us who haven't had rain.
Well, up north, you guys in South Dakota, North Dakota, man, my heart goes out to you. Had a guy said he'd only had 3 inches the whole year. That's tough. I mean, it's pretty tough to grow any grass, but we're fortunate. We caught a lot of moisture early, and I just wanted to show you, this has been about 40 days now since we've grazed this. Come in here and look. So the first pass we came through, this would have been just tipped, so we just took the top part of it off, and this is what grew back. But folks, we left a lot of the grass in the clovers intact. We didn't take it, we just took the tops off. And you can see, I mean, it's just, yeah, there's some seed here. There's some fescue seed there. There's some clover that's come up. There's a little bit of bluegrass. But you know, that's still pretty good feed. I had the brush hog on the tractor, and I remember I went down this field. You can see, I went down to the end, I turned around and came back. And it started raining on me, and that was it. I didn't do any more brush hogging. It rained so hard you couldn't get in here. And that was about a month ago. But you can see it's all grown back.
Talk to the camera, hon.
It's all grown back, but where the brush hog went, you can see there's not as many seed heads. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. We bring the cows in here. If I could have got it all clipped, what would have happened? But anyway, a lot of people talk about, you know, rest and recovery. How do you know when it's completely recovered? Well, here, the plant that I'm looking for is the fescue. So it is a cool season grass. I'm looking for a plant that has a tip on it. Okay? If I went out here in this pasture and I looked around and I saw a whole bunch of plants that look like that, they just got a square tip on them. You don't want to be coming back and grazing that plant. Because if you do, what happens is, because the plant isn't fully recovered like this, you're actually eating the roots off your farm. You're eating all the roots off. And when those roots slough off because you didn't let the plant recover, pretty soon, especially in July, you're not going to have any grass. You're going to have to sell your cows, or you're going to have to buy hay. And folks, you don't want to be feeding hay in July. Wintertime, you know, when you get snow and ice and the plants aren't growing, that's when you might want to feed. I mean, you may have to feed some hay. But I see people feeding hay right now. It's June, for goodness sakes. Why would you need to be feeding hay? It's because you're not managing your grass. So, yeah, we had 350 head in here for half a day. And the paddock was about where that far bird house is, up this hill. We gave them this for half a day. And when we took them out that night, it didn't look like they'd hardly grazed it. They just took the tops off, you know, this much, about where my fingers are on up. That part was gone. And it's all grown back. You can't even tell it's been grazed now. So we're supposed to catch a rain on Saturday. They're talking maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. I hope we get something. If we can get a 1/4 inch, half inch, whatever. I can promise you this, whatever rain that we do get, it's not going to run off. You know why it's not going to run off? Well, look at the canopy behind us. It can't run off. We got this huge sponge out here. And that's what you're trying to build, is you're trying to build soil structure. How do you build soil structure? Well, you got to get taller plants. You can't have your whole farm looking like that where you've only got a couple of inches of grass sticking up. You got to have some structure.
How long do you think that is?
How long what is?
Those clover.
I don't know. They're 14 inches tall. A lot of it's stalked, but you know, cows will eat all that. That's tender. I mean, I can see why I'll eat that. That's got a good flavor to it.
That's dinner tonight for you now.
Honey, you mean that's my dinner? I better stop while I'm ahead. But anyway, yeah. So a lot of people look at our, come by and they see our farms and like, Greg gets more grass. Greg's got more grass because he gets more rain than we do. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I mean, we've had people say that right across the fence on some of our farms. The other person that owns their pasture is this tall, and they look at ours and like, Greg gets more rain. I know he does. I'm convinced he does.
We do. We keep it.
We keep it. We get the same amount of rain, but we're growing more grass. And that's because we have this canopy out here. Our pastures, I'm not going to let them get chewed off. So let's just say, bad as I hate to say it, let's say it didn't rain the rest of the summer. What am I going to do? I tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to combine our cow herds. We got a bull mob right now and a cow herd. The bulls are going to go in July 1st. The steers, we've got a bunch of steers out there. Those are going to be number one. They're gone. I'm selling every steer immediately. The next mode of action would be to go ahead and call the older cows. Any cow that's got a big udder, maybe got a little limp, maybe she's not shed off real good, she's still packing a little in her hair, gone. Get rid of those. And don't procrastinate. Don't think, oh, it's going to get better, it's going to get better. No, just go ahead and sell them. And I get this all the time, though, and then people say, but Greg, what if it rains the next day? Okay, it rained. You're going to have a lot of grass. You're still in business. You didn't go broke. But what if it doesn't rain and you kept all those animals? Folks, destocking a little bit, that's one of your tools in your grazer's toolbox. Learn to use it. Combining animals. So the next mode of action I would take, put them in tighter. Put them in tighter and slow them up. Increase your stocking density, tighter, slow them up. I get this. So people say, well, if you put them in there tighter, Greg, and you slow them up, they're going to eat your grass down to the ground because you've got them in a smaller area. What you're trying to do is buy time out in front of you. You're going to buy time to get a rain. If you just keep moving at the same speed in a drought, you're going to go out of business. They're going to eat all the grass on your farm. Your cows are going to get thin. You're going to be forced to sell them when everybody else is selling them, and you're going to go broke. Don't do that. That's not a smart mode of action. But I think that was what I was wanting to cover. It's beautiful even, isn't it, honey?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just do a little, so in 2012, we got the really bad drought.
We did.
And he started doing this, and the first thing to go were my 2-year-olds and my 1-year-old steers. And I had customers, and it takes, after that, 4 years to get back, and I lost a lot of my customers, meat customers.
Yep.
And then it was a heartbreak. It was a heartbreak for me.
But we stayed in business.
But we stayed in business.
And we saved our farm.
Right.
We had tons of grass that fall.
When the rain came.
When the rain came. So even though Jan said, what am I going to do? I'm like, honey, we just have to survive. And what you're trying to do on a cow-calf operation where you're raising, quality animals, folks, you've got to keep your best stuff. Because you may not be able to get those back in your lifetime.
Keep your genetics.
Keep your genetics intact. Yeah.
Show them that.
Oh, yeah, look at this. So this is our Timothy.
This is the last of the cool season grasses.
Yeah.
And what's it doing?
It's pollinating.
Yeah.
It's got all this beautiful pollen on it.
Bees really like that.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful cool season grass. And lots of white clover out here. There's a little bit of red clover.
They don't show up till later, the red clover.
Yeah, but it's just that we're not walking around any too much because you can see where we've walked. We've trampled the forage on the ground.
And that irritates you.
The cattle, they eat it. So, yeah.
So, are you still clipping?
No, I stopped. We haven't had a rain for 2 weeks, and it's hot. It's 100 degrees. I'm not clipping. Folks, you got to watch what's happening out there. Don't just blindly start clipping and, well, I'm going to clip every pasture behind the cows, which is what I was doing. And it started getting hot in the hundreds, and I'm like, I'm done. Folks, if you clip off your pastures right now, they're going to turn brown. And if you don't get a rain, they're not going to grow back. As long as you're getting some rains every 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe every 10 days, and you're not in the hundreds or upper 90s, we've been extremely hot out here. Look at this grass. It doesn't even look like it's suffering.
No, well, we've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of heavy dews.
I'm going to tell you what, you walk through this, your pants are going to be soaked in the morning. It's going to look like somebody took you with a fire hose. So these plants are getting a drink every morning with that dew. And people go, but Greg, it's just dew. You walk out through there. There's a lot of water being accumulated, and that's because they have a lot of surface area. Folks, you want your whole farm covered with surface area. The more square inches of surface area that you can have exposed to that sunlight, it's catching more energy. It's also catching more rain. And that's what's growing you more grass.
And it's keeping the ground
absolutely it's
cooler.
Yeah, it's keeping the sun off your ground. And so your ground stays cooler. Your earthworms, your microbes, all that stuff keeps working for you. That's what you're trying to do.
While we're here, isn't this the area that we mulched to hide the trail from the four-wheeler?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people asking.
Let's look at that. How did that do? So this was last spring. This is the old trail. We had the chicken people in here. They had a trail through here, and it was dirt. It was solid dirt all the way through this farm. And it just pestered me to death to see a dirt road on our farm. So Jan and I covered this with hay. Folks, this is what it looks like today. I think it's healed.
Yeah, now we also put a lot of different seed mixtures on here. Yep. And what do you see that came out of that seed mixture?
I don't see a whole lot what we put in here. I see what's growing over there. It's right here. So it was in the seed bank. It needed the hay on there to cover the bare dirt to let it catch water, and then voila, it healed itself. So you can take a bare dirt, that's what this was, is bare dirt all the way through here, and now it's healed. And it did that in 1 year. So,
and we gave it rest.
Absolutely, tool of rest. You got to have it. Yep. So.
But yeah, people have been asking about this, and so I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we're right here.
Yep, good time to show it. Yep. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Folks new to the channel, hit that subscribe button on the way out, and also check out our the new book, Greg Judy, How to Think Like a Grazer. That's on our website, greenpasturesfarm.net.
And we've got about 20 slots for the grazing school left.
What? We only got 20 left?
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of forgot to update you on that.
Okay. 20 slots left, folks. That's the grazing school, September 9th and 10th. It's the first 2-day school we've ever had. So there's only 20 spots left. You better get in on that, or you're not going to get there. So anyway,
we're going to sit here and watch the sunset, watch the fireflies come out, and
it's going to be a beautiful
little
evening.
Fireworks with the fireflies.
Absolutely. Folks, have a good one. We'll see y'all down the road.